are live. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday again. But unlike any other Monday, it's a festive Monday here in Louisiana. That is, I don't know about the rest of the world, but we're celebrating Mardi Gras this week. Um, However, that does not mean the office is not open. The office is certainly open, so we'll be continuing with our usual schedule today. I'll see some clients. And before I see some clients, I'll be sitting with y'all and talking about the question of the day and other things. But on top of that, I'm saying this because of this. Because of the holiday, I will not be present Wednesday. I know I said that I would be, but apparently not so because I thought I'd be back in my office by Wednesday morning, but apparently I will not be. So I will probably see y'all Friday, which is the day I do some notes as well as some company things. My schedule looks so spotty because of the holidays and certain events, but as usual, I enjoy having y'all with me and as well as doing this. Um, on top of that, let's talk about our question today. Our question today is, what do you believe is right? It came off as such a strange sentence. I don't know why, but yes, we're talking about what do you believe is right. Everybody has their own moral compass that they dance to, whether it's be boasted by culture, politics, things like that. So I would like to hear what y'all believe is right. And of course, y'all going to be hearing from me as usual. Um, and of course, this being just like you, this means a judgment free zone. We'll be talking about these things without heavily weighing on our viewers and listeners as if their views are wrong. Um, we come from it from a understanding base. So whatever you believe is right, we will we will accept it, but don't expect it to not be questioned in conversation. Because one thing we want you to really do on this channel is think about these things. This is a channel dedicated to mental health talk as well as open discussion, and we're free to do that without using any judgmental words. Of course, I will be teaching you how. Um, um, we're going to be playing some more therapy simulator today, because although it is AI slop and we just had played it last week with generated answers and we went over the basics. Hopefully, therapy simulator will be giving us a change up because it's going to be the second week of therapy in the game, and that means our clients are going to come back and we're going to discuss the issues and how they've been going. And in doing so, I will also discuss how you handle seeing someone the second time as a therapist or as a person that gave them advice or just was there listening. So we're going to be doing that. And hopefully we get some insight on further communication skills and understanding the mental health industry and how they handle this particular situation. So do stay tuned, and we're going to dive into Therapist Simulator almost immediately because I really don't have anything other to say than that as far as announcements go. I guess I'll give an update of everything that's going on. There hasn't been anything that's changed up in my life. Um, Things have been usual. I will say I'm going to Mardi Gras this Wednesday. I mean this Tuesday, and that's why I won't be back Wednesday because I'm gonna try to be back Wednesday, but I know what Mardi Gras traffic looks like down here. So there's a good chance I won't be back in time Wednesday to open my office, which is why it won't be open. Um, but I don't like parades. And I definitely don't like being out for Mardi Gras. I haven't been to Mardi Gras in so long, but a friend tugged my arm, so I'm going to give it a try. It's the least I can do. And I'm trying to open myself up to experiences. So hopefully this goes well. It's scary, terrifying because I don't like traffic and clutter and but hopefully through going I'll have a good time and experience things from a new lens it'll be since I'm expecting to be different. I can't remember the last time I was Mardi Gras. I think it was when I was real young. So this will be a almost like a new experience for me. Feel like something in my eye. It's weird. So on top of that, this week is playtime. If you are a fan of Poppy Playtime, I tune in to your favorite streamer and watch them play it because I'm a big fan. I love the lore. I love the story and where it goes. I'm a fan of horror, but I don't delve into horror because I'm a wuss. So I don't play horror games, but I like to watch other streamers play horror games. So tune in and watch your favorite streamer play the newest chapter of Poppy Playtime, just because I love that game. Would I play it myself? No. Maybe if enough people request it, maybe. But y'all have to hold my hand through it. Because thank you for the follow, Maya Silly. But like I said, y'all have to hold my hand while I play stuff like that because I don't. We reached our goal. Awesome. But y'all have to hold my hand when playing something like that because I'm not the bravest when it comes to horror games. I'll be like, when I'm done, I will certainly be like still shaking, shivering, and be looking around every corner and stuff. So, without further ado, let's get into some Therapy Simulator. Let's bring that up right quick because we got the whimsical music in the back and it is forever killing me. Play our games. I don't know. I don't like that it just disappears from the screen when I pull it up. Okay, so we'll continue. We're still in the early access, so apparently they're not done making it. But as a therapist, I still can't help but to judge it critically. As we said, our first week is over. We are on a new week with hopefully it doesn't generate new clients. Hopefully we have the same clients so we can actually help them with problems because realistically our income is based on the clients that like return and continue their therapy and not a new client every day. So hopefully it projects that realism to the game. All this trash. It still says I got stuff in the office that's dirty. Who these cans right there? I don't see the green fumes no more. Maybe that's it. It says something else is still in here. Oh, there it goes. That's it. Put that in the trash. I like to close the door just because. Actually, let's leave it open because a client's gonna come in there. But you do close this door. Okay, so let's see if we remember any of these names. Caleb Madrigal, Self-Sabotage, Burl Cobb, Social Anxiety, Michelle Fernandez, Workshop. These are new names. So it doesn't look like it's going to allow a real projected schedule. Like, well, I can't say. Maybe the next week. Maybe week. you'll be able to. The store is not available yet. Management secretary. A secretary will take care of your schedule and book available patients for you. I don't use a secretary, so I don't see no marketing. Increase the number of patients that come to your office. I could use one of those. Assistant therapist. An assistant therapist can enter sessions that you wish to skip, allowing you to deal with other tasks. I like seeing my own clients. Bills. Um, Pay for your office space to continue practicing. This is probably realistic. Not realistic in terms of price, but a realistic thing that you pay for your therapy space, your office every month. So I'll let you have that. Therapy dog, a gentle therapy dog that walks around your clinic, spreading love and comfort to patients. Aww. Having a pet present, I have heard, is a comfort to some clients. And naps all day, bring cozy vibes to all manage the clinic. Let's go with a dog. So we purchased a therapy dog. We're not hiring because I like to do things on my own. So let's begin a therapy day. Okay. It's a little therapy dog. Get him. Is he going to space? He is. Okay. This will be Caleb Magical self-sabotage. So let's talk to him right quick. You go in with the dog. Okay. Close these blinds. No one should know you're in session with someone. Okay, let's start. I keep ruining everything good in my life right when it starts working. Sharing this with me today. Let's prepare, you know this. Okay. By this we know we supposed to comfort them. And also show that we're active listening. I don't know, what's one small thing? I'm just scared of seeding or something like that. Say section more common than most people think, you know. Okay, simple paraphrase and reflection. For understanding, it really does help to hear that from you. Okay, put on a mask when you started missing deadlines on purpose. See that on purpose says you're protecting yourself for something. What is it? I wouldn't say it like that. Remember, let's not pile on questions. Missing deadlines on purpose suggests you're protecting yourself from something. Then stop. Because after that, you're stating, after that, you pretty much state the obvious. You lead them with a statement. You can lead them with a statement. It doesn't have to be a question. So after you say missing deadlines on purpose suggests you're protecting yourself from something, stop. They'll think about it. And they'll give you an answer. So you don't have to say what is it or do you want to talk about it? Nothing like that. Just say the simple sentence. Maybe I'm scared people expect more from me if I actually succeed. It makes sense that a higher expectation would feel scary and overwhelming to you. Thank you for getting it. That really means something to me right now. I'm nervous, but also kind of excited to try something different this time. That excitement is a great sign. I'm here to support you anyways. Keep it at that. That means a lot. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Okay, he's done. Therapy Animals gives us 5% on income. So who's next on my schedule? Let's see. It says Burl Cobb. That's him. Anxiety. Good boy. Stay out there. All Daddy Helmsl's business. Okay, so let's see. I can't handle being around people. I just freeze up completely. Number 3 will be our answer. Paraphrase and reflect. I guess I never really thought about it that way before. It seems like an AI generated answer, which could be annoying because that has nothing to do with what I said. Stop whining, just face your fears. Throw away the answer. Take your time. There's no pressure to have all answers say. Thank you. I really appreciate your understanding where I'm coming from. At parties, seen in corner, avoid eye contact with one. Could you try and just string one person next gathering? I mean, I could, but what if they reject me or laugh? With that attitude, that probably will. Did the dog just open the door? Come on. Maybe I could, but what if they reject me or laugh? If it makes sense, but rejection won't destroy you. Okay, so the third one was also acceptable. And that's pretty much scripting or going in vivo where you get them to practice their role. The dog is opening and closing the door. That would be unacceptable if it wasn't a real thing. No one should be going in and out the door like this during your session and risking their confidentiality. And it seems, and keep in mind that, because like confidentiality is a big thing. But I can't get over that this dog is opening and closing my door. That's just wow. That's just wow. But as I was saying, practicing makes sense for a client. It can sometimes help. They go over the script with you and then they take it out into the real world. So it can help at times. You're getting annoying there, buddy. It actually helps me see things clearly now. I feel a bit more hopeful about making progress now. I'm proud of your progress. See, practice that greeting report next week because we did work with them up with a plan with them. I am so sorry about the dog, sir. Okay, and this is my final session for today. That is unreal. Rude. R-double-O-D, rude. I'm so overwhelmed with work I can barely sleep at night anymore. Let's create a plan to help. No, that'll be problem solving. We don't do that the first time we see someone. What patterns do you notice about when your stress feels more intense? Okay, let's do that. I guess it's usually worse when I have multiple deadlines at once. 2 is not the answer, obviously. Your awareness of pattern is a great step forward. I'm not sure where to even start fixing this. It's okay to feel uncertain. We'll work with this together. Thank you. I feel appreciate and understand support. I always keep piling on projects without considering my existing work. This is AI generated because we already heard this before. How do you typically run when your boss expects new progress? You just accept them because I don't want conflict. The avoidance patterns like to contribute to stress building up. What do you fear might happen if you express your concerns? Let's make the obvious statement. Avoidance patterns like contribute to stress. Sometimes they really need to hear the obvious. You're probably right. Avoiding things only makes things kind of worse. Just give me some real clarity on what to do. Great. Put those inside an action report next week. We'll just got something out of complaint for that. I'm really glad today was helpful for you moving forward. Because you didn't work with anything on them exactly. You just pretty much had a conversation. Let's hide the dog. That's bothering me. I saw an option where you can hide the dog. Store management Pets. Hide. It takes away my bonus, but okay. I'm just tired of that door opening and closing. Is somebody out here? Yep, 2 people out here. Games.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know each other? Y'all just sat by each other. No problem. Alright. Lucas Games. Jealousy. I can't stop feeling jealous whenever my partner talks to other people. Whoa. A lot of people don't come to the realization that it's jealousy. So we're ahead of schedule here. That sounds really good. I'm glad you're sharing this with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too sensitive about this. Being sensitive shows you care about your feelings. Thank you. I was worried you think I was being irrational. It's worse than part last with their coworker at lunch. Oh goodness. Let's question their history with this. She become closer to coworker. Oh wow. Y'all excuse me right quick. I need to take that. So we're going to. Okay, and we're back. That was a spam call going to my office line. Should have noticed since it's not 9 o'clock yet. As we were saying, actually I'm coming closer to coworker. Whoa. So we're going to validate their pain. That must have been incredibly painful and makes you sense you're worried. Thank you for understanding. It still hurts to think about it. It helps to understand these feelings might be coming from now. I wish we could have went more over this as an actual case, because jealousy is a big emotion to work with, especially when we're trying to figure out triggers. I wish we could have talked about the triggers and such, because it doesn't seem like we got anything out of this session. Just validate, yeah, you're jealous, you have past issues, but how to control it, because it's going to take some time. But then again, this is the first session. I never saw this guy before. Okay. Keep reflecting on this. We'll see you next session. I will. Thank you for today. All right, so we have one more. I'm so glad that dog is not opening and closing my door again. I wish it'll subtract points by little mistakes. Say if you leave the door open, that's confidentiality breach, subtract money, things like that. But so far it just subtracts money for trash in the office when it could be so much more. So I believe this game can expand and give just a little experience of being a therapist, and probably penalize for things like that, and help you realize therapists have to think about all this in their office. That's one heck of experience. I can't leave an apartment anymore. Everything outside terrifies me. What's this case? Agoraphobia. We worked with agoraphobia last time, and this is a new person. You won't see agoraphobia really common like that. So this irks me a bit that they're like putting this as a thing. Um, sounds really difficult. I'm here to help you with this. I don't know if I can ever feel normal again. My question is, when did this start? Like, so these answers don't really do it for me. Because if they said something like that, like, oh, tell me when you did feel normal. Because it doesn't sound like this just happened for them. We feel that we can work this together. Thank you. I really feel the need here. The grocery store feels impossible now. Even thinking about it makes me shake. Um, two is actually a good suggestion until they're ready, but they're stating it like a dick, which tossed out as a valid response. But number two, I would say like, hey, how do you feel about shopping online until we like get to going to the grocery store again? Because it sounds like this is hard for you. So how do we feel about just going online for now to do our groceries, and then work towards going to a grocery store at least once a week? Then try to escalate it. Like, okay, let's do two times a week, then three times a week, and then we scale their solution, and eventually they'll feel less anxiety when going outside. Until the end, we'll just question what thoughts they have. Think I'm sorry, I don't collapse in public. Um, that's kind of like we can challenge them that way. This is the first time I felt understood in months. Don't expect too much too soon. Keep practicing those thoughts, challenge, and we'll build on this. I respect you. Thank you. Okay, so okay, who is this? Leela McDaniel, emotional
Mm.
repression.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So we're pretty much just going through the motions with our paraphrase and reflection. Like I said, I wish this game expanded more, but it is on early access, so probably the makers will add on a bit more. Hopefully they will.
Mm-hmm.
I keep everything bottled up inside and don't want to stop. Um, when did you first learn hiding your emotions the safer choice? Probably when I was young. My parents didn't like when I cried. This is something that's more common than you think. I've dealt with a lot of clients who said that, and this is a thing, doing the bare minimum is normal. Why should you get credit for that? And that's one way to hurt someone and cause emotional repression, because you're basically teaching them to not celebrate victories in life, no matter how small. And the thing is, those small victories is how we're able to move through a world that's so mounting with stressors, challenges, things like that. So when we tell them, oh, why should I give you credit for doing what you're supposed to do? Because it's a hard world out there. They need to know that they're on the right track, and they need that to be celebrated. So, and if they don't receive that, you'll get this. You'll get some emotional oppression where they go, oh, well, I guess I did something that I was supposed to do, or I did something that's supposed to be achieved. So, like, let me go and do it the rest of my day. And that's hurtful for anyone who who might just want just a little credit in something. So, emotional oppression can come from this. So, not just people around you, but you yourself, take time to celebrate your victories because it boosts your self-esteem, it bolsters confidence, and it reminds you this is what I value. This is something that means a lot to me. And I did it. And when I do this, I can do more. Number two is not the best answer. Although it is accurate what's going on, because parents do that. They say like, oh, why should I give you credit for something you're supposed to done? The childhood pattern still affects you, but you can learn new responses now. I guess I could try, but what if they think I'm weak? Sharing feelings is brave, not weak, and right people understand. Thank you for saying that. I really need to hear today. The worst part is I cry alone, but never around other people. That's also what happens when it comes to emotional repression. Crying alone, but never around other people. Because here's the viewpoint people with emotional repression go through. Since this is something I'm supposed to do, then it's normal that I should be able to handle this. So if I break down because I'm not doing something I'm supposed to do, I'll be portrayed as weak, and I can't be supported by people when I really need them. And this might include parents. This might include loved ones, friends. It doesn't stop at parents because the first support they believe is not behind them as parents because their parents are telling them, oh, like what are you celebrating for? So if they won't let them celebrate, of course they won't let them feel moments of weakness because they're like, oh, stop crying, do what you're supposed to do. And that's no way. And that's another thing that hurts people who go through this kind of thing. I'm tired of seeing different arguments. The fear is understandable, but it also keeps you isolated and alone. Point. I think I'm starting to see how this makes everything feel worse. That's been really fast when I arrive. I'm proud of your emotional openness and courage. Okay. And that is the last person. I am closing my office. That dog is not coming, so let's end it there. That ends our day. Okay. So usual perfect score. Spent a little money, but hey, we earned that money back. I got $5 grand. So the thing with this is that I was hoping that it gave us a real experience in week 2, and we see those clients come back and we work with them. But it doesn't seem like we're going to get that out of Therapy Simulator. Maybe it's because it is it's in beta, so we don't got the full release. Maybe because they're never going to have that because this isn't the 100% therapy experience, which I can understand as well because it's not like the developers are therapists. Or are they? I'll look that up. Because I don't want to make some claim I don't know better about who we're dealing with. Who's the author? Therapy Simulator. Jim Boy. Let's see. don't see a wiki or anything based on like Jim Boy. I am Jim Boy too. Gerard Jim Boy Baltzar was 17-year-old Filipino boy fatally shot by no AI once again giving us the wrong stuff. Um there's not information on the developer. Maybe if we go to the Steam store and go to developer Jim Boy. Um, this is the only game they got out. Um, so probably a small developer publisher who just made a game for fun. I wish there was more information about them. Wikipedia. Um, there's nothing about them on Wikipedia or Therapy Simulator, Wikidata. So we know nothing about the developer and their experience with therapy, um, which well, I don't know how I feel about it actually. So basically, we don't know about them and their experience, but from my experience as a therapist, we could use just a little touch more realism. Um, like my devil's in the details. If I leave my door open during a session, minus points for confidentiality. Um, the blinds being open, minus points because someone could be watching me interacting during the session. Even if they don't hear me, they can be watching, which is a confidentiality breach in itself still. Um, they could possibly be some minus points for the dog coming in out the session. I'm just kidding, but still, the dog was annoying. Like, no one walks in and out of the door like that and breaching the confidentiality. So I would like it to generate the same cases like every week or every 2 weeks, because that's how therapy goes. We see these clients on a weekly or bi-weekly basis and we build up on what they've learned. I know that's a difficult call for a game that gets you to focus on like just doing a basic paraphrase and reflection tools and compassionate speech leading with compassion. But I would like it to give a full experience on therapy as a therapy simulator, because there's more that's going into this. More that's going into therapy. There's treatment planning. There's SMART goals. There's techniques. So I would like an option to say, hey, let's try this technique. And it arouses the curiosity of the player, and a player goes and probably like has a little screen that says, okay, this is how this technique goes. Just to give them a simple gist of it. Don't want y'all to think that y'all therapists just by playing Therapy Simulator. But I do want y'all to have the basic experience of, well, just a little experience of being behind a desk and like, oh, this can be fun. I can see how a therapist might be struggling with these things behind a desk now. And I know that's a lot to pack in because a lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff goes into therapy across an hour. So if the game could replicate that to say just spending a little more time with one client, just a bit, and to pack that in, that'll be a great experience. Because so far it's just the same speech for 5 to 10 minutes. They get up and they leave, which is very unrealistic for an hour. But again, I understand we can't capture everything perfectly. But 5 more minutes and knowing a bit of technique, that sounds cool. Um, I'm going to try to give it another day because maybe we haven't seen those clients yet. So let's start the next day. Maybe we will have some regular clients appear. I don't know. I don't want to judge too quick. So this is going to be more of confirmation, and after that, I might just end the session, end this live, because I don't want to take y'all through the basics again, and yeah, I might want to, and we can discuss something else in general. All this trash. Ugh. That is even that. See any more trash in my office? Nope, that's it. All right. So we close this door and we're going to start our sessions. Who's first for today? Oh, I left it on. So go back to calendar. Melania Ferrer, perfectionism. Gia Mirandis, PTSD. That means other people are going to be in my hall. I would also like to see a feature that we can go back to week 1 and see who we sing, because the thing is, we can't remember names that well. Like, some of us might need to like see the previous week and say, oh, who do we see? Who did I see? Oh, why are they on my calendar for this week? Because how I do it is I have a calendar that clients can schedule themselves on, requests to schedule themselves on, or it auto-fills based on the frequency. Say like, oh, I'll see you bi-weekly. My calendar puts the client in bi-weekly. Or say if it was something that I need to see them again this week, like say a crisis situation, then I'd have to see them again that following week and see what comes of it. Is this Milani? Perfectionism. Get in there, Milani. You calm down so the price is right. The price being $260. Oh my goodness. Milani, you might need a refund. That $60 is a little excessive, in my opinion. I can't stand myself when I make even the smallest mistake. Sounds like you're being really hard on yourself right now. I guess I just don't know how to be okay with failing. Making mistakes is part of being human, not a character flaw. Thank you. I need to hear that. It's okay. Spend hours redoing work that's already good enough. What do you fear will happen when work isn't perfect? I think people judge me or see me as incompetent. I like they're valid, but they're not facts. It helps me less alone in the struggle. I appreciate your patience with me all this. Use unimportant words, babe. Be proud of yourself. Yeah, okay. See, by knowing simple paraphrase and reflection, you pretty much can breeze through these sessions in this game. I won't say therapy, because you can't, because there's a lot that goes in therapy over an hour. Like, if I was to sit there paraphrase and reflecting an entire hour, oh my God. Like, if we're navigating the minefield and getting to know someone, that'll be one thing. But if this is week 2, and if we're seeing someone, we need to start working towards goals. We need to start realizing, like, hey, what can we do about this? Okay. I keep having nightmares about the accident. I can't sleep anymore. PTSD. Tell me more about how these nightmares affect your daily life. Well, I can barely focus on work. I avoid driving completely now. What if we started with short drive? No, That's problem solving. Those reactions are completely normal for someone experiencing trauma like you. Let's get try something, but I don't know if it'll work. It's not what I said, but okay. It's okay for a certain. We'll work through this together because I just met you. I'm not going to start suggesting things. Flashback happens randomly. What specific triggers have you noticed? You get to know them. I know it's certain instincts make it worse for me. I believe number one will be the answer. And we're not problem solving. We're suggesting something to their treatment plan, which can be fair. We can say, oh, we can work on some desensitization techniques in our following sessions. And that'll be fair to say because you're setting them up for some goals to do later. I'd like to learn more about that approach. I feel a little more helpful about managing this now. You made real progress. I think you should feel good about that. I know there's somebody outside.
Mm-hmm.
Get him away. Alright, Shea Preston, people pleasing. Did we see him last week?
Hmm.
I don't remember. But the name is familiar. Let's see if they give us a different context.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't say no to anyone. It's completely exhausting me. Sounds like you're... No, we did some with someone similar. Because we had another people pleaser. That's what happened. I get scared of what people will think if I refute. Fear is very real. Make excuses to say it that way. Thank you for understanding. I really need to hear that. I go see if I work on because I never refuse anything. Let's practice script. It's an excellent approach, very professional. I feel more confident right now, so I can see how I actually change this. Practice that balance for our next session. Okay. So that's it for that. Is anyone else in our hall? Nope. We can close out for today. Okay, so the game doesn't give us the same clients, but it does give us the same scenario. But that's because I think it's AI generated when it comes to not only responses but the cases we work with. And that would have been good if we were dealing with the same client, because then we can go into treatment planning and trying to help them in the long run with their problems. But we don't get that chance. And I think that's actually the most important part of therapy that we want to touch on is long term, because there are clients that come in and they go through the honeymoon, what we call the honeymoon phase. They get to know you, they start talking about their problems and issues, but then they get to how are we going to solve them and what do you want to change? And that becomes the part that stresses, because for multiple reasons. One is because that's where the work comes in. And when it becomes work, some people might not gravitate to it, because they start to feel this, well, you know, the sensation you have when something is an actual job. You start to resist. You start to feel bogged down with it. And not only that, but it triggers some vulnerability. because you're truly opening up and you're working on yourself. Two, we look at the dynamics, because a lot of times, say like that case with the ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend from the previous week, they realized like, hey, we can't do nothing about your partner's behavior. So what would you change? What would you like to change? What would happen if your partner doesn't change? And then it becomes work on them again. And so they'll have to try to figure out what do I want in life? What do I want to do? And that becomes more work for them, because it's shifting away from that dynamic of, this went from talking about my feelings and what I'm dealing with to me working on myself again. What do I want to do? What do I want to change in my life? This can shift things. Like I could possibly not have a partner, or I might have to have a difficult conversation with my partner. So in the spirit of therapy simulator is missing that. It's missing that long-term dynamic of work when it comes to therapy. Because talking and problem solving, rewind on that. Talking and paraphrasing or reflecting is okay for the shallow reasons of understanding, but there still has to be work to be done in therapy. And so I don't think therapy simulator is it when it comes to addressing that. Okay, so I'm not going to even lie or bite my tongue. I don't believe I want to go through the motions of keep playing this repetitiveness. And that's another thing I have with therapy simulator. It isn't rewarding to keep playing, giving the same answers over and over. To me, it's like a freaking burnout at this point. I'm doing the same thing over and over. Different faces, but the same problems. And the AI generated responses are nothing different. They're not going to give me anything worth really critically thinking about. So it's a pass for me to play this game over and over. So we're going to close it out here, and that'll be the end for that. But it was a fun experience. We got to talk about the basics of therapy, which I did want to touch on. We got to talk about paraphrase and reflection over the course of the week. Last week when we started to this week, we got to talk about leading answers with compassion, which is a big key in active listening. We got to talk about not palling, like giving simple statements or simple questions without putting a bunch of necessary text to it. So in that regard, we got something out of playing therapy simulator. I wish we could have had more that would have given us a chance to get the real therapy experience. But hey, you got me here. We can always talk about more therapy topics and more therapy situations and delve deeper into mental health issues. So if we want to do that, stay tuned and keep coming by to Unicorn Therapy in order to talk more about these topics while we play some games. So in the meanwhile, we're going to end this stream early because I'm going to get a little head start on this client case. I'm going to also send out some emails about my office closing Wednesday, and I will get back to y'all on Friday, probably playing a different game. So Unicorn Squad, It's been nice seeing y'all again, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by.